Welcome to Corbellic Studios. We're going to be doing a abstract impressionism cubism woman. This one's going to be beautiful. It's going to be colorful. It's going to be different layers. The reason that I'm saying that is because I'm running thin right now on my palette. And before I stock up, what I like to do is I like to use all of it. So, I like to go to the table where I'm doing a bunch of different fillers on paper, or I'm doing fillers on smaller pieces of canvases, or I'm just doing different types of artwork. So usually when I'm running thin on my palette, like where my paint is just kind of on his last legs, you know what I'm talking about, I really get creative, and then I really get into my work mode because it just doesn't matter. So this one is going to be really abstract, funky. It's going to be, I don't really know. I just know that we're going to be using the projector to have the proportions and whatever's there. I really don't care because I need to get rid of this paint. So the palette colors, I really kept it simple. I could have stocked up before I did this video, but I wanted to have fun and do kind of like an experiment with you. Not even experiment. I've gone through this plenty of times. I've been in the mud. I've been in the grind where I only had a couple colors, but we're just going to be more, we're going to be more adventurous. All right. We're going to be more experimental. We're going to be more resourceful is the word that I'm looking for. We're going to be more resourceful with our colors, so that way we could just lay it down. Picasso used to say, hey, when I run out of red, I use blue. If I run out of blue, I use red. Back then they didn't even have art stores that they could just go across the street from. So I try to think like that, like not a modern day artist where I can go to Michael's or I can go to Hobby Lobby anytime that I want. I try to be resourceful like an artist, and that way it doesn't matter. You're not married to the colors. You're not married to the paint too much. You're just being resourceful, and let's just see what comes out of it as an artist. I don't care about the colors. Let's just paint. All right, so let's do this. All right, look at this. This is our woman right here. You could just see it's on a little bit of a larger canvas. This is a 16 by 20, but it's fine. It's going to be fine. What I like to do is I take out my rubber paintbrush, right? Where it just basically it's going to smear the paintbrush, or it's going to smear the paint that's left on here, and then we'll just be able to play around with it and add colors or remove colors or just do the lining, and we're going to be done with it. I think that we're going to get done with this one pretty quick. But even when I say that at times, then who knows whatever happens. But let's just get done with it. I don't have that much. Look, you can just see what this is, what it looks like right here, how much paint that I put on, and let's just go over it. Look, oh, let me even this out. There, that's fine. And you can see how I'm just smearing that on there, and then let's put a little bit of white on there, so it doesn't have to be too pink. This is the skin tone. I'm not really married to what the image is too much. I'm just going off of the color. Doesn't even matter with the color. So look, boom. Look at this. And then let's do a little bit more white, maybe some purple, a little light purple with the white. I do this all the time, and you could do this too, where we don't have a idea of what the color is, and we're not married to whatever it is. We could just have it like that, right? And then what we're going to do, we're going to dry it off a little bit with a heat gun, and then we can still keep this in the background for the colors or whatever, and then we could just add certain other colors that we want to, add the lips, just add the lining, and then we're done. It's going to be so cool. Watch. And boom, look, that didn't take long to dry at all. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to go in here with our 1-inch brush, and we're just going to go in with colors. But the thing that's cool about this is I don't have to paint the whole project. I don't have to do the whole face. I just have to go in there with certain areas that I want to, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just certain areas, but we're going to leave this in the background so that way it makes it cool. It makes it look intentional. All right, but let's do the eyes first. I always like to do that, so that way when we do get down to doing the eyes, just put that white in there. It'll be already dry for us. When I first started painting, that's one of the things that I would work on first is the eyes. That way it just gives me an idea of what we're looking at. And look, I have some yellow. Let's add a little bit of white, and then with the yellow, so make it a light yellow. And let's do the nose like this. And it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Anyone can do this. My best clients are retired because they could just have time to just focus on this and paint, and they're not really caught up into the other stuff. They're not caught up into their egos too much because they're not thinking about being a gallery artist or anything like that. So it's easy for them to detach and just paint. I know it's difficult for most of us younger whippersnappers to detach because we've been conditioned ever since we were children how to think about art and how to just think about life itself. Everything must be perfect. Everything must be inside the lines. If not, you're going to get in trouble. People are going to say something about you. I don't want to be ostracized from my friends and from my family. You have to be a brave person to kind of do art the way that we do and how we look at it, because we're going against everything. We're going against how things used to be, but not only that, we're kind of going against our friends and family. And a lot of people aren't conditioned for that, because a lot of people want to be well liked and respected. They want to still be part of the pack. It takes a strong-minded person to distance yourself from the pack and do your thing. Do your thing. What's best for you. But then that's when they respect you, when they see that it's working. Then that's when you start building up the confidence in yourself once you see that it's working. I say the best part of my day is working with clients and hearing from them how it's the light bulb clink. And then they see it's working because they see the numbers coming in. They show their charts, and on their charts, the snowball effect goes up. And it's like the aha moment. Trust me, I know, because once I had that aha moment, there was no going back for me. And until you're in that moment, you're in a fog, and it's almost impossible for you to get there until you really take a leap of faith. That's why I made everything so easy to follow and clear as mud in my courses, so anybody can do it. Anybody can follow it because it's already inside of you. I always say this isn't an art channel. This isn't an art class. It's already inside of you. I make things very simple because if you don't have someone or even the community where you have people where you can see that people are actually winning and people are actually doing it for themselves, you won't believe it, and you won't follow through yourself. I know so, because think about it. I had to do it by myself to get to that light bulb moment. And the only reason how that helped is, like I was saying in my previous videos, is because at the time, COVID was the thing that made me really say, all right, they said 2-week lockdown. Let me use that time to just put things out on eBay and be consistent every single day with with my auctions. And back then I didn't even have a structure of how I lay it out now for you with the 5, the 10, 15, 20 canvas a day system. And now I just remember, though, when you have the light bulb click moment, it gives you the battery in your backpack to keep going. Then you believe it. And then once you believe it, you feel so good because the sky's the limit. Nothing can stop me. The only thing that's going to stop me is me. I know that I could just keep going. I could scale this. I can't scale my regular job. You know, they give me a salary for 6 figures or barely 6 figures, right? And that's all I get. I can't go to my manager and say, hey, I saved you a lot of money last month. Can I get one of those things? You know, those one things. He's like, what are you talking about? You know, those raises. Can I get a raise? They're gonna laugh in my face. Or I'm just gonna be like penalized somehow. Or I'm gonna be penalized where it's like, okay, you want a raise? Let's give him more work. Let's make sure he stays at the office. You want a raise, right? And then you feel horrible. That's why it's like it's always a lie in corporate America whenever they say they give you a raise or you got the promotion. You know what that really means? It means that you just got more responsibilities. I was always one of the smart people where it was like I didn't want a promotion and none of that stuff. I always wanted to be in the cut. I always hated when they wanted to suggest me to get a higher role or to do some other stuff because I knew it was a trap. Oh, you wanna pay me barely 5 to 10% more of my salary, but have me do even more of the work with more the stress and responsibilities on things that don't even matter. Oh, and the best part is I don't get to go home. You know, I'm looked at like, hey, you know that feeling where you work a job and then it's your time to go home. It's 5 o'clock, and then you're like nervous to even say to these people who aren't even who the hell are these people? Like you're an adult and you got these people making you feel guilty in your soul that you want to go home at the time you're supposed to go home at 5 o'clock. If you go home at 5 o'clock, then I guess you're not a hard worker. Well, look at Michelle right there. She's leaving early again. Early. That's your time that you're supposed to leave, and they're saying you're leaving early. Once it clicked for me, and once I figured out how to free myself by making money with eBay, just by selling art, and our margins are higher, and that anybody can do this, the sky was the limit for me. There's a famous quote that says nobody pays you like you pay yourself. Meaning, it doesn't matter. Okay, that job, right, that I feel guilty about leaving at 5 o'clock, it could pay me 6 figures. Or the job that I paid myself, it could pay me $20, right? That $20 is better than that 6-figure one. Why? Because I can scale that $20. I know what it took for me to get the $20, so I know what I need to do to scale it up and make $20,000. Because it's up to me then. It's crazy. They say that we're like in a capitalistic society, but at times it doesn't feel like it. Because you can work as hard as you want for your job and save the money, but you're not going to get rewarded with any kind of increase. eBay and selling art this way was the only time that I felt in my life that I had an advantage, that I had an actual chance where it depended on me. And it was a capitalistic society, how it's supposed to be. Capitalism only works if it's fair. But if it's not fair and you have people who cheat the system or different things, then it's not fair, you know? But this was the only time that I felt like it was starting to become fair for me, because it's up to me. And it's up to me how I do business and how I show up. None of these jobs can take anything from me or say anything to me. It's the first time. And once it clicked for me, you get the confidence. You get the confidence because you know that it works. And you know what? Once I got that confidence, once it clicked for me, you think, how long do you? It didn't take me long to quit my job. All right, I'll just say that. It didn't take me long at all, because there's just no way in the world I couldn't do it. And I know, like, if you've been here long enough, you know that I've had 79 different jobs in my life. I don't care. And most of them were temp jobs, finance, and different things like that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm one of those type of people where I'm not good with 2-week notice kind of thing. My notice is notice I'm not here. All right. My notice is notice I'm not in this building. That's my notice. But I remember the last one, I didn't give them a notice like that too bad. My notice was more like, they were like, so, because they knew that I was an artist, and I was really transitioning myself with selling art online. And I told them that, I was going to get my 2 weeks. But then they noticed, like, dang, you're not even doing none of the numbers no more. You're not even like showing up. They were like, so are you just like checking out for real? And I was like, yeah, I think so. I just can't do it. Like, I couldn't do it where I knew that I seen for the first time that this was making me more money than what I was getting with a 2-week paycheck in like just a couple days or so. And it was up to me. And it was like, why would I be working a job when I could be using that time to make paintings and really build up my fillers with my buy it now store, fill things up with why am I doing that? I couldn't do it. But you know what? You're a better person than I am, because you're a great employee. You're a great employee. Good boy. Good boy. Me, I couldn't do it. I was never really a good employee, because that's not where I was supposed to be. God had something else intended for me. And the thing is, we're so caught up in society type stuff, right? Where they got us believing that if we don't want to work a job, like one of those type of jobs, and you're not happy in your soul about it, then you're a bad person. They got us believing that like we're bad people if we don't want to work a certain type of job that we've been conditioned. You're supposed to get straight A's your whole life, and then you go to college and you're supposed to get more straight A's, and then after you get straight A's, you gotta work for a corporate job, and a job that you don't like, where you're pushing numbers, and then you gotta get a 30-year mortgage on your home, and then you die, or you retire, and then you sell your house, you got equity, and yeah, like, what is that? That's why I love what I do now, where I'm coaching people, because it's deeper than just art for me. It's deeper than just art for me. It's about life. It's I have clients where I coach, and it's not even about the art itself. It's not even about eBay, but it's just about things that they need to do next in their life, about discipline, about their lifestyle, about confidence, about organization within their mind. So that's the thing that you can do as well, where it's not, you could use this as a catalyst to catapult you into the next part of your life of things that you've learned from either your experience, from either your past jobs, or even from eBay itself. People think that, I don't just do art and I just don't do videos. I don't just do coaching. I do different types. I have different businesses and I have different types of coaching as well. And it's all been blessed on me because of eBay, though. I wouldn't have had the opportunity if it wasn't for eBay. Let me tell you. And like I said, I've had over 79 different jobs. I tried so many different avenues in life and things didn't work out. But eBay clicked where I was able to sell art and not have to do the whole politics side, because I've done that too. I played the whole gallery game and the whole politics side of having to do that. This worked for me because I didn't have to deal with humans. You don't even have to leave your house if you don't want to do this. You can be a total hermit. Well, no. In order for you to be a successful artist, you have to be a total social butterfly. You got to go to all these Andy Warhol type of parties, and you have to mingle with people, and then you got to know who to talk to, and then you got to say all the right things, and then your art will sell. Who wants to do that? I mean, then right there, you're just a dancing monkey. Like, I'm too busy creating art and for me to have to go out and play the game of who to talk to. And I mean, don't get me wrong, you know me, I'm a great talker. I could do that. But then after a while, what I would always do after I got done with these social events and parties and things like that, I'm like, I got to go home to paint. I got to go home and work. And then I would have friends who didn't even understand that. So we would go out or something and it would be like a social thing or something. And then after we're done, they're talking about going to do, like drinking or something like that. I'm like, I got to go home. I got to work. And they didn't understand what I was like working on, because I'm getting into my art, and who knows what they thought I was probably talking about. But I'm like, I got to work, and me in my mind, I'm thinking I got to paint because I'm taking it serious. I don't know what your future is or what you think, but I'm thinking long term. And I'm thinking long term more on the side of, and at the time I didn't even know it, where it was like me, it was just more like long term of just paint. Because that was my evolution. That was the chapter of what I'm in. You're supposed to be in different chapters of your life. I don't want you to always be in the same chapter. That's what's so cool about this community. It's not just about art. It's about what's the evolution of your chapter. I want you to use this to go into your next chapter, your next evolution. Because at the time when it was just paint for me, I didn't know that it was also going to grant me the opportunity to help people, to have different businesses, to be able to travel the world. Let's go in with these black lines. I still have paint left over. So that means that I'm going to do another video after this of me just trying to get rid of this paint on the palette. And I'm really loose when it comes to the black lines, how I'm doing it right now. I'm not married to whatever the lines are on our proportions from the projector. And if you're new here, how we get these references is we use AI. And I have all the prompts and all the different templates, so you can do this for yourself. There's no guessing game, and anybody can do this. You go to certain AI apps, and I have a whole list of prompts that you could put in there so you can create beautiful art just like this. Look at that. I love that feeling. And you know what I'm talking about, when that paint just hits it raw. Like you're just working it fast, that flow. And you just know that everything's okay because it is okay. There's no thought about it. There's no wrongs. It doesn't matter. The reason it doesn't matter because A, it doesn't matter. But B is because we're getting rid of the paint. So this is really paint that we just had left over. And you can say to yourself, this is a study or whatever. You can say whatever to yourself. As long as you just don't take it serious, you say whatever to yourself. She reminds me of like a French quarters woman, or maybe like a woman from the 1920s, where they had the curly finger waved hair. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add white, and then that's it. Let's turn the light on. Look at her, it's crazy. Right? Boom. These are always amazing. These are always so fun. And maybe they're always so fun to me because I know that with the size of it, 16 by 20, the beauty of her, she always sells well. She does well on eBay. And look, I'm not special. We're all special. But look, we did this together. And since I said it's like finger waves things, let's try to do something like that. Where it's like curl, something like that. All right. I'm really trying to I'm really trying to just get rid of this paint. And I love layers. You know me, I love layers. I can't stop with the layers because that's the stuff that makes it look like it's all galleried out. When you go to a gallery, the paintings that look like they're fine art is the ones that are just layered, just like what we're doing now. So that means that you can do this too. You don't have to have experience. You just use the projector how we're using it, and then you're using the proportions from the projector, but you're using your own color scheme and your own imagination. And that's that. That's that. Looking beautiful. Let me take a picture of her. That's our French Quarters woman from the 1920s, right? She's ready to go to like the Cotton Club. She's ready to dance. She's ready. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. That is a beautiful painting. We just did this together. Look, if I can do this, you can do this. If you want to learn how you can do this, all the prompts we were talking about, click the link below, join the free eBay art community, and I'll see you in the next video.